I am Elite Guard, IACO Sub-Commander and Archivist Smokescreen. Welcome to Transformers Alignedverse Explained, Part 1. I'm here to explain to the best of my abilities how the first 7 chapters of Transformers Alignedverse, which aired on D. Rice Raid's YouTube channel, is connected to the aligned continuity. So, let's begin. Before the events of Transformers War for and Fall of Cybertron and Transformers Prime, the first half of Alignedverse. Chapter 1 begins. This part shows all that happens before the canon event. It shows the slight population problem we had, plus what was done about it, the rise and fall of the Autobot Academy. And did you notice Unicron passing through? Did you also notice who sent him far into deep space at the cost of her own life? Here's a hint. Her arm made an appearance in the Transformers Prime series. The rest of her parts would become raw material for Optimus Prime and Elita Want to build their Kidbot, Cellibus Prime.
I don't think anyone noticed those obvious Easter eggs to Transformers Prime. Smokescreen!
Alright, now get this. Prior to Unicron getting blasted through deep space, he had already consumed a planet. A planet whose name and identity we'll explore in Season 2. By the way, Shockwave came from that planet. He would play a prominent role to all these events and more in the shadows. This would also include him claiming to be the one who shared his knowledge to all Cybertronians and Junkions about creating the younglings, which he calls his test subjects. Shockwave's shadowy operations would later trigger the events that led to war, and the planet would later begin to suffer energon loss, causing Cybertron to die and us to leave Cybertron. We spent 3 years on Earth until Bumblebee screwed Megatron. With the Omega Lock we restored Cybertron, but Unicron, who got screwed by Optimus on Earth, tried to pull a fast one. Using Megatron's body, he tried to destroy Cybertron, only for Optimus to screw him again. Megatron flew off into exile, and the second half of Alignedverse Chapter 1 would begin from here. Before the events of RID 2015, the Autobot Vehicons stumbled across one of Shockwave's storage labs, notifying me about its contents, knowing fully well that Shockwave was conducting his experiments, even after the war. I told the Vehicons to put all of Shockwave's incomplete test subjects, along with the Decepticon prisoners, on the Alcamore. I even sent a message to Bumblebee to make sure that Shockwave never gets his hands on any of the Alcamore's contents, as it was supposed to go to Velocitron. Instead, the events of RID 2015 had already begun. During those events, however, one pod fell out from the ship and crash-landed in a Canadian forest. The pod was found by Raphael Escobar's older cousin, Aaron Reyes. The Decepticon in question turned out to be Optimus Prime's missing Kidbot, Cellibus. Just don't call her a Decepticon in her face. She really hates that.
Really? Smokescreen? How does ex-IACO commander and former archivist sound to you?
Whoa, hey! It wasn't on purpose! Chill pill, Cellibus, chill pill? Are you trying to scare off D. Rice Raid's fans? Take it easy, Cellibus.
Fine. Don't blow it, Smokescreen. Got it?
Okay, moving on. During the RID 2015 series, which took place in 3 years, even though Bumblebee erroneously said 6 years, Cellibus became Canada's racing sensation until her ID tag was picked up by the Alcamore's Decepticon detector. This would begin a new story, one that would finally solve the mystery of why all of the Decepticons in that series had animalistic robot modes and beast modes. By the way, I guess you guys already knew how Shockwave got Predacon and Insecticon C and A, right? Not all of Clonus Autobots were captured. A few of them had set up a hidden base of operations, unbeknownst to Optimus and Bumblebee. Shockwave, the logical Madcon, He used this opportunity to try to recapture his test subjects, while Bumblebee and his team took down Psy, Clonus, and his comrades, with Cyberwarp's help, of course. Shockwave would later make his move to recapture one of his test subjects during the Indy 500 racing tournament at Darkmount, Nevada City, USA. Unfortunately for one of Shockwave's agents, who was with him long before the war, Shadow Striker encountered a problem. Cell E-Bus remembered what Shadow did to her, and she was going to make her pay very dearly. Not even the threat Shadow made to Aaron Reyes would stop Cell E-Bus from going on a warpath against her. She stabbed Shadow in the belly with an old flagpole and made sure that Aaron was dropped safely out of harm's way. After making sure that her human friend was safe, Cell E-Bus unleashed her Cyber Ninja teachings of her 12 Cyber Ninja Masters upon Shadow, leaving her in the state she would be found in several chapters later. Cell E-Bus was already well aware of the identities of the other bots and cons who were brought into Shockwave's lab. She would inadvertently save her sister from Shockwave's servos and ensured that Glyph had a clean getaway. Anyway, Cell E-Bus would make a catalog of those, like her, who were experimented on by Shockwave. A few familiar faces popped up in that catalog. Did you recognize them?
They were experimented on to the point where they were totally unrecognizable to anyone. Marge and Bumblebee were brothers in arms. Now Tika and Orsi were actual siblings, just like Sids and Mudflap were. After the experimentation, Arcee never recognized her sister. She only saw Arachnid, Tailgate's murderer. Here's an even bigger shocker. Tailgate was also related to Nautica and Arcee. In other words, Nautica killed her youngest sibling.
Yoshi! Are you saying that Shockwave would even destroy Cybertronian families too?
For his own personal gain, regardless of which side they're on, Ratchet.
By the old spark, he did that too. The nerve of that bastard!
Wow! Wasn't that clearly obvious from the get-go? Look at what he did to me! I don't have my dad's colors! I look like Ziza in my robot mode. I heard that speech Shockwave gave earlier on. Me being Mixmaster's bride? Ew! Gross! Like what the scrap is wrong with that guy? I think Shockwave got his wires crossed. This is not Val Ika, whatever it is.
In case you don't know, Mixmaster was flagged by Wheeljack moments ago.
By the way, I heard that Shockwave is making a beeline for Griffin Rock. What's gonna happen to the rescue bots? Will they survive Shockwave's attack on their base? What's gonna happen to them?
Meanwhile, later this year, my Alignedverse chapter begins. My journey to find Megatron and show him your catalog of Shockwave's victims commences in a few decade cycles. I've got some
deputizing
to do. Red Chat!
Look out for the second part of this explainer video at the end of Season 1 of Transformers Alignedverse. Subscribe to D. Rice Raid Fanfics YouTube for more Transformers Alignedverse videos.
Cut him some slack, would you? He's doing his very best to produce these Transformers Alignedverse videos.
Smokescreen out.
Till next time. CP out.